Okay. Twitter is maddening today. It's doing another uptick in its censorship of me. Not only are my pop-up notifications a mess, but and this is a new one of theirs, um, my regular notifications in the app of people liking and or sharing my tweets is also gone in terms of it not really showing up properly at all. Never mind replies to me. They're also not really showing up for the most part. So they're not, I don't think they're actually shadow banning me in terms of the concept of my tweets are not showing up to anyone else. They're just blocking half of my views to anything, including my own tweets. And of course, I've had to reboot my phone now 5 times today. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Gab, I'm on MeWe. I rarely visit, but I have an account on Minds as well. Then I'm here on VidMe, on YouTube VidMe. I'm probably going to do, as I at this point generally do, a simultaneous upload to both, or should I say within 2 minutes of each other. And I'm on Medium, okay, in terms of writing longer pieces. It's just, at one point Twitter was a really easy, and it worked well, app for me. But that was when I was almost never on it. And that was when I still continued to use it just for pop culture exposure. As opposed to really hitting anything political. They're planning, it looks like, to roll out more levels and higher levels of censorship on Twitter in official rules, which means I might soon be actually suspended and then banned outright from the platform. As I'm certain the people that know me on Twitter, deal with me on a regular basis know, I don't actually, abuse quote-unquote people. I don't, for the most part, I don't curse. It's just I purely do issues, and the problem is that some of the issues that I hit and the way that I hit them, Twitter doesn't like. Powers of it be don't like. And that's why I made memes of them. Things like my saying, Sanders isn't a socialist, he's a centrist. Things that, my saying that Medicare for all is not single payer. Medicare should be dismantled and destroyed. It should not be expanded. And various things of me describing why Medicare is not a program that should be expanded outward in any way. So, when, again, if it would be one thing if I posted pornographic content, okay, because Twitter does have 13, 14-year-old kids on it. But again, my saying that Medicare does not function how many people presume it does, that's not porn. That's not pornographic. That's not graphic sexual content. That's me saying that Medicare has supplements that you need in order to make it anything close to full coverage. That's something that, if anything, I would want someone that's a 13, 14-year-old, to learn, to know, to see, because then it would let them know why it might be that grandma really, or grandma, or grandpa, or their disabled, 20 or 30-something-year-old relative that has Medicare really does need money for, and really does need supplement plans, and to help them know what they're dealing with. So, I'm not sure how much longer I'm therefore going to stay on Twitter because of how bad it's getting. My thing is that I'm gonna try to stay on it as long as possible, but I don't know how long that's going to be. And until really I figure that out, it's a wait and see approach. In short, I know there are people that have indeed gone around their IP addresses being blocked for a little bit and survived, and stayed on for a while longer. I'm not going to do that. I'm really not. It's not worth it to me to do that. And in fact, I'm not even sure if it's worth my continuing an active, real presence there if I just get suspended temporarily. After that, I might just tell people, I'm not really going to deactivate this, but don't expect to see tweets. You'll have this as a window to talk to me, to communicate with me, but I'm going to go back to, in essence, a passive stance and a passive spot on here, so that I don't get completely banned. But it's a tough thing. In the meantime, this coming Saturday, I'm going to be, one of the people that's helping to roll out a Smithy memorial. Really, a lot of us are feeling still a little bit lost without him. But the work continues. And I know there's been a bunch more infighting again amongst supposed, at least, leftists. And indeed, I've seen it a lot, that people on this end of the spectrum, and I think one of the problems is that, Caitlin Johnstone mentioned the concept of, with a series of, psychops, that in essence the left has been trained to eat its own and to create and perpetuate this conflict. But a part of it, to me as well, beyond that, is the fact that there's the authoritarian left and there's the anti-authoritarian left. And they are indeed two different parts of the spectrum. And which is to say, it's a multidimensional thing. And therefore, which is to say, there are people that believe in, a lot of social programs to help those in need. And with that, there are authoritarian means to provide those, where they're strictly monitored and strict controls, and there are actual more rules governing individuals' behavior, and it's more invasive. Whereas, and there are other ways that are less invasive and that promote more freedoms. And that's why, to me, there is indeed this conflict, more than anything, which is to say, and it's been described as a gatekeeper effect, and that's another way, a valid, discussion point, that it is a matter of gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are the authoritarian part of the leftist spectrum. It's not that they're quote-unquote faux left. They're real, okay? They really do believe in programs. But the problem is that they believe in achieving them in authoritarian means, and therefore they also believe, by extension, that their position is the correct position. And that's a problem. It really is a problem. The first progressives were indeed authoritarian change agents. Not to say they didn't do some good things, but they were still went about it in very authoritarian, very oppressive ways. It's been described. History is a messy thing. It's not all good. It's not all bad. So we've got to acknowledge both. Not an easy thing to do, but it has to be done. In order to move forward, you have to be honest about what's past. So, as I keep on moving forward, indeed in that vein, I really do consider it a matter of a very important thing to keep telling truths, to try to be as open as possible, but to not get bogged down as well, and to at times give ourselves permission to take breaks. Take breaks from factions, come back, try to clear our heads, and then you come back. Easier said than done, but gotta at least try. Shalom.